Oh, I see Kazama pumping out more good content. My G, always getting in the top 3k. I see. You see, guys, if you subscribe to me and you're not subscribed to him, I don't know what you're doing on this video. Go first subscribe to him, link in the description below, and then come back to this video and watch it. If you guys truly want good content and good shit, you should go watch Kazama. This is not sponsored. I'm sponsoring him. I'm not. Just subscribe to him anyway. How you guys doing? Whatever. Why am I talking here? Roll the intro. Welcome back, guys. This is King of Weebs here, and this is what if Naruto isolated himself part 4. Last time we left off with Naruto actually going off on his training session, well, 2 years training trip, and of course Naruto learned a few things that I mentioned them before, and yeah, Naruto actually has 1 month left, and he actually decides to ask Jiraiya if he can learn Sage Mode with him. Well, if he can teach him Sage Mode, and basically Jiraiya accepted and talking to him on Yoboku, and Naruto actually got to, since he wasn't really in a rush. The only reason he was actually learning so many things is because he wanted to bring back Sasuke, but of course Jiraiya masters Sage Mode here. Naruto actually gets near mastery, but it's hard for him to actually control it still. He just mastered it. He's not used to using the mastered version. He's more used to using the imperfect version, but of course Naruto will keep training on his own from now on and master it. It's not like in the original when Naruto literally lost his master as a nah, if I don't do something, not only do I die but everyone in the village, and my master's death was in vain. But here he knows that he's pretty sure that he's strong enough to bring back Sasuke, and last time he actually never used the shadows. He's not going to use them this time either. I know it's kind of dumb, he could have just brought him back easily, but Naruto did promise himself not to use them unless it's a serious situation where it's the end of the world. But anyways, now Naruto finished his training and is heading back to the village. Of course, Naruto, while he was heading back, he actually got another hunch. Yes, Naruto gets hunches here, and he got a bad feeling. Not a hunch, he got a bad feeling, and he wasn't sure what it was about. But after this bad feeling, on the same night, he actually dreamt about Gaara dying, but he woke up saying, nah, impossible. It's impossible, I don't believe it. Anywho, sorry for the background noises, I've closed my window, like, damn, there were so many kids outside. Anywho, yeah, Naruto woke up, but in the end, he couldn't sleep and went to Konoha with Jiraiya. Naruto has actually entered Konoha, and of course he does the same thing, and this time he's actually greeted by 2 people, not only, well, multiple people, not only Sakura and Konohamaru and them. It was Sakura, Konohamaru, and Yumi. Yumi actually hugs Naruto, but whatever. Anywho, now Naruto, at night, he actually gets, well, his shadow actually alerted him that Gaara was getting attacked, and Naruto, is like, oh damn. And basically, Naruto actually shadow exchanged, but by the time he actually got ready, because Naruto was half naked, he was sleeping, and he woke up, and basically by the time he got ready, Gaara was already not dead, captured, and Naruto shadow exchanged. The shadow really couldn't do much. He kind of got annihilated, but he did regenerate, and he kept trying, but of course he fell off Gaara's thing as soon as Gaara lost his chakra, and Naruto teleported into the village, and basically saw Kankuro leaving, and Naruto followed him. And while Kankuro was going, Naruto was following him, and basically still the fight against Kankuro and Sasori went on, while Naruto put his trust into Kankuro and thought that he can bring back Gaara. But by the time Naruto actually caught up with Deidara actually disappeared. Deidara actually went off a different way to the hideout, and Naruto couldn't keep up, and he's like, god damn it. And basically then Naruto's shadow with Kankuro actually activated, and Naruto teleported there and helped out Kankuro, but of course Kankuro was already poisoned, so he really couldn't help him, since he's already poisoned and he had to look after him. Kankuro was gonna die. But then realized that Sasori done his job and he's leaving, and he's like, where you going? I'm your new opponent. And Sasori's like, are you not gonna treat Kankuro? Are you really going to let him die? And Naruto realizes that Kankuro will die if he doesn't get first aid ASAP. And basically, after this, Naruto actually who actually left a kunai at the sand village, he teleported back and took Kankuro to the, well, emergency room, and he got told that Kankuro cannot be healed, and everyone in the Leaf Village was kind of confused on where Naruto went, especially Yumi and Shikamaru and Choji, who actually came to visit him, and he wasn't at home. And of course, Naruto actually teleported back to the Leaf Village. And just saying, Yumi is a top tier healer and the top tier ninja. She's actually S ranked already. She's one of the strongest ninja in Konoha right now. And anywho, Naruto teleports there. He didn't even do his test with Kakashi, since the first time they actually passed. But it's what it is. And yeah, Naruto teleports back to the Hokage's office and tells Tsunade of what happened. And basically Tsunade actually prepared the team, which was Naruto, Sakura, Kakashi, Yumi, and well, I'll say that Yumi didn't go here, unfortunately, because remember, Yumi still is going to go on her own mission, with Team 10. Anywho, now, Naruto, who's actually, yeah, so, sorry guys, now Naruto, who teleports them to the Sand Village, actually finishes, well, Sakura finishes to find the antidote earlier, and Naruto was ready to head off on his own, but of course Kakashi didn't even allow it, so he had to wait, and he was pretty pissed off, but he understands why Kakashi could not allow him to go on his own. This is the Akatsuki, and he's one of the targets himself, so it's already a danger for Naruto to even come on this mission, but he's here since he's the one who alerted them, and now he wants to go on his own. That's a no from Kakashi, and so Naruto had to wait, but of course Chio joined, and Chio's there, why does he care so much? And basically Kakashi told him that Naruto went through the exact same pain as Gaara. He's a Jinchuriki, and everyone in the village hated him. And of course here Naruto still Team 7 actually arrives here at the same time as in the original. Gaara's already dead, but this time it's different. Naruto doesn't go into a rampage form, but he's pretty pissed, and he's actually holding back his rage that the Nine Tails is trying to control his body. Naruto held it back and then opened his eyes and to actually reveal that they're glowing in purple, and Naruto actually blitzes Deidara, the one who actually carried Gaara's body, and blitzes him, and of course annihilates him in one move. He actually cuts his body in half, and then he actually says wind style Rasen Shuriken, and basically this wind style Rasen Shuriken actually hit Sasori's shell, and Sasori's shell actually got destroyed, and Naruto, who was pretty pissed, then actually went towards Sasori, and Sasori of course summoned these 100 puppets and tried to fight off Naruto. Everyone was watching Naruto annihilating Sasori, and then Naruto held up Sasori by the neck, and basically basically Naruto then said, I already lost Sasuke to Orochimaru, now I'm going to lose Gaara to you guys. You deserve to die. And basically Naruto then will start strangling Sasori, but then Sasori, right before he actually got strangled, he's like, wait, let me give you this, and basically he gave Naruto a piece of paper, and basically then Naruto took it and then continued strangling him. And in the end, right before he died, he actually gave up the mother and father puppets and the third Kazakage puppet. And of course he dies, and that's pretty much it for Sasori and Deidara. Naruto kind of annihilated them. He annihilated 2 Biju level fighters, even though I'm not sure if Sasori is a Biju level fighter, because he never really versed Shukaku, unlike the other tail beasts who actually had a good relationship with other Jinchuriki who had good relationship with their tail beasts. It was harder for the Akatsuki to acquire them, since Utakata could use the abilities of the 6 tails, and Son Goku used lava release, and you know what I mean. It was harder for them to capture them lot instead of Gaara, since Gaara was using his own power. But he actually put up a real good fight against and according to the data books, Deidara, who was BG level. Well, I believe Deidara is BG level. Like his C4 explosion is pretty overpowered. Anywho, let's not get into power scaling right now. Naruto reads the paper, and basically he says that there is a location and a time where he's meant to meet Orochimaru, and basically Naruto's like, wait, what? And basically shows this, picks up Gaara's body and then goes towards them lot and basically says, we're going back to the village, come. And basically he's holding Gaara in his arms, and basically he's heading back to the sand village. And of course Gaara's dead right now, and Chio, who actually saw the fight, someone from the Leaf Village would do this much for someone from the sand. For someone from the sand is pretty impressive, since the Leaf, I'm pretty sure, were the ones who killed her, her in-laws and her son, Sasuke's parents. Yeah, so she was actually really surprised that they have a good connection, and Naruto, who's a Jinchuriki, would do this for Gaara. I know he's the Kazakage, but he's doing this out of friendship, not even out of like because he's the Kazakage and they have a good relationship. The Leaf and the Sand, they have a treaty, not even that, because Naruto actually thought of Gaara as a friend, but it is what it is. Now Naruto laid Gaara on the ground. Of course Chio actually gave her life up and said the mother and father puppets, give them to Conqueror, because Conqueror is actually the puppet master in the village now after Chio, and Chio actually gave him her 7 legendary puppets as well. Anywho, Chio passed away, or 8, I'm not sure, 10 legendary puppets, I'm not sure how many there were. I said 7 because Dragon Ball Z, or 7 Dragon Balls and that, you know what I mean. Anywho, Chio died, giving life to Gaara again, and Gaara basically they all had the moment of silence, and Naruto was pretty happy, but at the same time sad that Chio actually used the forbidden jutsu to give her life up for Gaara's, but it is what it is. Anywho, I know this was a lot similar to the original, but there were a lot of changes. Naruto, who actually now knew about the location where Orochimaru and Sasuke are meant to meet up, Naruto doesn't really want to take anyone with him except for himself, because he blames himself for being weak and letting Sasuke go. But of course Kakashi is like, Naruto, I need to see what Sasuke gave you. And basically Naruto's like, it's none of your business, Kakashi sensei, it's between me and him. And basically Kakashi then says, Naruto, I know it's something important, you look pretty nervous when you read that paper, give it to me now, it's an order. And basically Naruto still follows orders, remember, he doesn't want to like disobey his masters. Anywho, he respects Kakashi and he gives the paper, and Kakashi's like, you were planning on, Kakashi realizes after reading the paper that Naruto was planning on going on his own against Orochimaru, and he said, no, you're not going on your own, I'm going with you. And of course Naruto, a new team is actually assembled to go retreat Sasuke, and it's actually Sai, Naruto, Kakashi and Yamato. So they have both Yamato and Kakashi to go, since Kakashi never really used the Kamui. He still had enough power to, he never really used the that amount of strength. Anywho, he will use it against I'm not gonna say. Anywho, Naruto, of course they all go, and still they take the form of Sasuke, but Orochimaru finds out straight away, and Naruto gets in the fight, and he's pretty pissed. He's even more pissed than before, and he actually lets the Nine Tails take control and goes into Four Tails. But Naruto, right before firing off his Tail Beast Bomb, Kakashi, he knew that a Tail Beast Bomb can cause mass destruction. He knew that this cannot hit the ground. If it does, either it kills all of them, kills Orochimaru and them lot, and Naruto will be left with Four Tails state. So Kakashi uses the Kamui and collapses straight away after using it. Basically Kakashi's out of chakra, he's breathing heavily, and Orochimaru's like, oh thank you. And basically Naruto was put down by Yamato, and Orochimaru escaped with Sai. Of course Sai follows them like in the original, and yeah, Naruto and them lot actually go to Sai, and they find Sai. Sai was actually ordered to kill Sasuke, and Naruto's why are you doing this? They find Sasuke afterwards, and Sasuke still gets in Naruto's head, but he never really met the Nine Tails, and what he really met was actually Naruto, a shadow in Naruto's brain, and this was the hatred towards all the villagers. This was Naruto's hatred, which Naruto has been trying to actually suppress, but of course it's a shadow, and it's a shadow just as strong as him, and all the techniques that he has them too, so it's going to be hard for Naruto to get rid of the shadow. And it is what it is. So Sasuke meets the shadow, and just saying, the Kurama can actually see everything. He meets the shadow and he's perplexed on why Naruto looks like this, and why is he so, why does he feel so much hatred coming from him. And basically Naruto smiles and basically tries to stab Sasuke in his mind, but then Sasuke is actually pulled out of it, and Naruto says, never go in my mind again. I'm telling you, Sasuke, it's a dangerous place. And basically Sasuke was kind of perplexed by his ways, and then he escaped with the Orochimaru. Naruto was already out of chakra because of the Nine Tails, using all his chakra up. And yeah, they returned to the Leaf Village, and of course Kakashi still put in the hospital, and this time it was actually later, but he was actually since he didn't just come with an arm of Deidara's arm away, he come with a full-tailed beast bomb, a full-fledged Nine Tails in full-tail state. Tail beast bomb dies a lot of chakra to actually get rid of, and here's what it is. And Obito actually felt the shockwave in his dimension of the freaking tail beast bomb. He's like, what the hell was that? Anywho, now Kakashi, who's actually injured, he cannot go to actually help out Team 10. Team 10 of course returns to the village, just saying, no wait, actually he can, I forgot, this happened earlier than usual. Anywho, wait, no, never mind, my bad. This happened in the same time, I cannot change the things. Anywho, I'm not changing any facts, sorry, my bad. Now I completely forgot about the letter saying at this day and blah blah blah. Anywho, Kakashi cannot go to help Team 10 even after Asuma died. Yes, Asuma actually died. No wait, sorry, Asuma did not die. I was thinking of the original. In the original, Asuma actually died, but here Asuma does not die because Yumi is actually in Team 10, and she's a healer, and she was actually able to heal Asuma. Remember, she's a top tier healer, and she's an S rank healer, to be honest, and she's actually helped out a lot in the fight against the Akatsuki, and so they were actually able to escape with Asuma just being wounded quite heavily, but it wasn't as bad as in the original. But is what is, they returned to the village with Asuma, and they realized that they have to go back and capture the take care of the Akatsuki, and then basically an Akatsuki, a team to put down the Akatsuki was made, and it was made out of Sakura, Sai, Yamato, Asuma, Team 10, and Naruto wasn't in it, but Naruto then basically complained and said, I need to be in this team, I need to get rid of everyone that actually took the One Tails away from Gaara and nearly killed, pretty much killed them. I need to get revenge on them. And basically, Tsunade is like, no, you are not going there, Naruto. And Naruto's like, listen, I'm not as weak as you think I am. And basically, Tsunade is like, even if you got stronger, you're not stronger than the Akatsuki and Naruto. And Naruto's like, what do you mean? Do you not know my actual strength? I told you this already. And basically, Tsunade then says, and basically Naruto says, I'm just the strongest Jiraiya sensei. And basically Tsunade was perplexed and says, what do you mean? And basically Naruto says that he actually learned Sage Mode, and he can pretty much use he has mastery over Sage Mode. And that's kind of a lie, because he doesn't have full mastery over it. No, he does, but he's not used to using it. And basically she asks, alright, then use it. And basically Naruto uses it, even though and this was the catalyst for Naruto to actually master the Sage Mode fully, because this Naruto can only hold Sage Mode for cannot hold Sage Mode for more than 10 seconds, but here Naruto held it for 30 seconds and then realized that it's not a strain anymore. And I don't know how he did that, and he's like, I don't know how I did that, but yeah, I did it. Anywho, Naruto was put in this team because Sage Mode is pretty much OP, and remember, Sage Mode Naruto went up against Pain, but I'm pretty sure Pain would have actually beat Naruto if Naruto never had the intel. But it is what it is. I know this might create some controversy in my channel, because some people they don't understand that in ninja, in the Pain fight, the intel that Naruto got from Tsuyu was actually crucial, because if Naruto never knew about their shared vision, Naruto would have definitely lost. He wouldn't have understood straight away. I know he's a sage and everything, but by the time he actually would have clocked that they have shared vision, he'd probably be dead. Anywho, you know what I mean? So it is what it is. Naruto, Naruto's pretty much one of the strongest, or it can be debated. He is the strongest in the village after Kakashi. Well, after the person in the strongest, the four strongest people in the village currently are Danzo. Well, Guy at the top, then is Danzo, then Kakashi, because Kakashi is not stronger than Danzo right now. Warrock Kakashi is way stronger than Danzo, don't at me, because Warrock Kakashi can use the Kami pretty much instantly and easily, and multiple times, one after the other. Remember, he did that, and he was even able to, he was actually going to try to tell, Kami all the tail beast bombs until Naruto came out of nowhere with the KCM2. Anywho, yeah. Then it's considered Naruto to be last because they don't know Naruto's true abilities. But Naruto's actually second in skill, because I don't think Naruto can beat a Night Guy. There's no way. There's no way Naruto is still not Sage of Six Path level. There's no way. I do not believe it. Don't at me. Naruto is not even KCM level yet. So yeah, nope. I do not believe it. And remember, Nagato is actually stronger than Naruto KCM 1, not KCM 2, but it is what it is. I don't want to create controversy in my channel anymore. Anywho, I'm doing it right now. Now, Naruto and the Akatsuki suppression team actually goes off on their own, and Kakashi wishes them luck. He wants to go, but he cannot. He's too heavily fatigued, and he realizes that he needs to train after this, because this Kami thing, if Naruto goes into a rampage again and Yamato is not there, he'll be the only one to actually help, be the one to suppress Naruto, since he's going to have to Kami all the tail beast bombs, especially if the Naruto takes control of Naruto. There's no way anyone could really do it except for him, since he's the strongest out of them. Anywho, he's going to be training his Kami much earlier here. He actually trained right before the pain arc, but here I'll say that he trains right after he's dispatched, out of the hospital. And of course, the Akatsuki suppression team reaches the two Akatsuki members, and Asuma actually takes on Deidara. Deidara. Asuma takes on Hidan with Yumi, Choji, and Shikamaru, while Sakura, Sai, Naruto, and Yamato take on Kakuzu. Kakuzu was actually harder to beat. Remember, Kakashi is way stronger than Yamato. I don't care about wood style. There's no way Yamato is stronger than him. I don't believe it. Unless you're talking about the first Hokage's wood style, then there's no way anyone can beat him except for Naruto. And maybe in KCM 2, it's debatable. It's debatable. Anywho, now Naruto, who could easily beat Kakuzu if he gets a normal Rasen Shuriken on him. Of course, he's not doing it because he doesn't actually know Kakuzu's full strength, because Kakuzu is not using all his 5 hearts. He's only using 1, until basically Sakura actually comes in with a Shanro, her massive destruction punch, and then basically Sai actually arrives with his Super P scroll, biting into Kakuzu, and just saying Sai is actually getting changed already by Naruto. But after giving his speech about Sasuke, when Sai asked, why do you care about Sasuke so much, and Naruto says, he's my friend and it's because of me I let him go, I let him leave the village, I wasn't strong enough. And basically Sai's like, wow, Naruto's pretty kind, even though he already knew that. He's like, wow. Anywho, and Kakuzu was actually being suppressed by the wood style who was holding him down, so he was getting hit by everything, and Naruto actually vanishing Rasengan him, but somehow Kakuzu was immune. But the only reason Kakuzu was immune is because he has lightning release too. So Kakuzu realizes that this is not going to be easy, so he lets loose, and he's going to fight properly, and he's like, who's the first one to be annihilated? And of course, everyone's like, you think you can beat us? And basically, Naruto's like, everyone stand back, and basically they're like, what? And basically Naruto's like, everyone stand back, let me handle this. And Sakura actually realizes that Naruto has a concerned look in his eyes, and she knows this concerned look in her eyes, and this was the same look that Naruto had when he actually heard about Sasuke leaving. And she's like, oh maybe Naruto's right, and basically tells Sai to actually go behind him, and Yamato just listens because Naruto is actually being serious. Literally, he's like, get behind me, it's dangerous. And Yamato's like, cool. And basically after this, Kakuzu lets out his 5 hearts, even though they just let it happen. To be honest, they could have stopped it, but Naruto really didn't know what was going to happen. He doesn't know if it's a trap. If he gets close, he's going to get annihilated. He doesn't know anything about it, but he lets out his 5 hearts, and basically Naruto says, there's 4 of us, 5 of him, we have to be careful. And basically Kakuzu actually commences his little fight. And just saying, Team 10 actually took Hidan somewhere far away from Kakazu, because they don't know how strong they are a team when they use teamwork, and teamwork actually is crucial in a mission. And remember, they have to work as a team, so they have to separate the duo from each other, so it's only a solo fight. Anywho, and Kakuzu actually starts off his fight with a combination jutsu called the fire style, fire bomb blast. No, I'm joking. Fire style. He actually uses fire style and wind style to create a fireball jutsu, which is actually increased by, boosted by the wind release, which actually makes the fireball much bigger than a normal fireball, not even bigger than a great fireball jutsu. It's so strong that it creates an explosion, a massive explosion, where everyone is pretty much scorched. Well, everyone would have been annihilated there. It's like, it's pretty much on the same power. Oh no, a bit weaker than the Majestic Destroyer Flame, but just a bit. And the Majestic Destroyer Flame is pretty strong. Multiple ninjas were using water release jutsus, water walls, to block it, and he barely did. Anywho, sorry. Now, Naruto actually realizes that this fight is not going to be easy, so he actually summons his shadows in the other people, in the other guys, in his team's shadow, and tells them to take them away. And basically, they're all like, "Wait, what's going on?" And basically, they were caught off guard, so they couldn't actually resist. And basically, Naruto's like, "Yeah, I cannot let you guys get endangered. If anyone dies, it's me." And basically, they're like, "No, Naruto." Yamato's like, what are you doing?" And basically, he was being held back. And basically, the shadows took them away, far away. They were actually heading back to the village, and Naruto's like, You Akatsuki members, you guys piss me off. I'll destroy you all one by one." And basically, Naruto actually not wanted to show his true strength to anyone except the person he's about to annihilate, kill, obliterate from the world. Yeah, Naruto actually lets out full power. Well, not full power as it seems to Kakuzu. Naruto opens his eyes with glowing purple eyes, and he's surrounded by a shadow, and basically he goes into Shadow KCM, basically Shadow Chakra mode. Anywho, man said Shadow KCM, Shadow Chakra mode. What? Anywho, Naruto blitzes Kakuzu and kicks him away, kicks the original Kakuzu away, but all of the other hearts actually create a combination jutsu to annihilate Naruto. But then Naruto actually uses a wind pressure. Yes, Naruto knows created this jutsu called wind pressure, and it's a wind style technique. Basically, he uses the wind pressure in the air to actually bounce off and bounce high up in the air. Basically, they all attack that one spot Naruto was in, but Naruto's actually at the top. And basically, what he does is that he he does the hand seal, does a few hand seals, and basically then says fire style, scorching sun. And basically what he means is that he creates a massive, even bigger than the other thing that Kakazu used. It was a massive fireball jutsu that was covering the whole entire sky for the people that were looking at it. It was like a meteorite, and basically all the hearts were annihilated in one go. The water heart actually survived since it's made out of water, but then Naruto actually came in with the lightning technique and said, "You're dead." And basically what he did is that he said lightning style, lightning style, lightning blade. Yeah, he used the lightning blade. Yes, Naruto knows the Chidori, so he actually improved it into the lightning blade, because Naruto knew that the lightning blade is something that existed, and he created it. Well, not created it, he actually evolved it. Technically, he basically mastered it over his 2 years training. I didn't mention this because why not? Anywho, why should I mention it? I'm joking. Anywho, Naruto stabbed the heart, and the heart got annihilated, and then looked at Kakazu, and this happened in 3 seconds. Yes, Naruto was not 3 seconds. This happened pretty quick, and Kakazu really had no chance in protecting his hearts, and if he got in the way, he was going to get annihilated as well. And anywho, now Naruto looks at Kakazu and says, "You're finished." And basically Kakazu, that you're not going to beat me. And basically what he does is that he actually stomps the ground. Well, he basically made spikes made out of his threads. I don't even know what they are, but his threads that make up his body come up from the sky, from the ground. And basically, Naruto was about to get impaled, but he's like, "Do you really think you're going to beat me?" And Naruto used a counter move, like just like Goku did in Namek, right before he was about to get hit by Frieza. Goku did some next up cheating, yeah, and did an angry Kamehameha to annihilate Frieza. But of course, Naruto, what he does is that he creates a Rasenshuriken straight away and throws it right in front of Kakazu, and he literally deletes. It deletes Kakazu out of this existence, and the explosion was so big that it was actually visible from where the shadows were. And basically, Naruto told the shadows that they can stop and they can allow them to come back. Kakazu's been annihilated, and of course, Kakazu's body was actually left on the ground, lifeless body. And yeah, the Team 7 actually returned, and they're like, "Naruto, why'd you do that? You could have died. Where is he?" And basically, they see just a few craters on the ground. It's just from the Fireball Jutsu, from the Scorching Sun Jutsu, I mean, and from the Rasenshuriken, which they were pretty big, but it is what it is. And they're like, "Wait, what? Naruto did all of this, and they still Kakazu's dead body." And yeah, Naruto actually annihilated Kakazu on his own, and Team 10 was actually able to beat Hidan with Shikamaru's brains and all their abilities put together, and especially Asuma being a Jonin who could actually, well, of course he's not as strong as Kakashi, but still a Jonin who actually very skilled. And remember, he's a Sarutobi, so yeah. Anywho, the mission was over. They were able to annihilate both the Akatsuki members. They take back Kakazu's body and they examine it, but of course they couldn't really find any traces of anything new, except for Kakazu having 5 hearts, but they're all gone now. He only has 1, which got annihilated. But Naruto, of course, but his ways, they get rid of Kakazu's body. They actually burn it, so no one can actually get it and do something with it. Who knows? There might be something hiding. There might be something in the body which they couldn't even find with their technology or their skills. Here's what it is. Now, while this was actually happening, of course, anywho, while this was happening, Sasuke actually, of course, killed the Orochimaru, and this spread around the, land of fire and all the nations. But then, while this was happening, Jiraiya actually found out information about the Akatsuki leader, where he has been, and where he is, of course. And remember, the Akatsuki actually already lost 4 members out of 10, and there are only a few left. Itachi, Kisame, Obito, Konan, Pain, which is Nagato, and Kisame, which is only 6. And well, to be honest, there's only 4 left, since Obito doesn't really count. Obito doesn't really work for the Akatsuki, really. He's just using them. And yeah, Zetsu is literally the mastermind. Anywho, after this, still Jiraiya comes back to the village to actually talk to Tsunade, but he actually bumps into Naruto this time, and this is where the things change. And Naruto greets Jiraiya and says it's been a while, and Jiraiya's like, "How are you, Naruto?" And basically Naruto's like, "Why are you here in the village? I thought you're going to go get some information about the Akatsuki." And basically Jiraiya then says, "Yes, I have found some information about the Akatsuki already, and I'm going to go talk with Tsunade." And basically Naruto's like, "Oh, can I come?" And basically Jiraiya's like, "No, you cannot." And Naruto's like, "But why?" And basically Jiraiya says, "Naruto, this is top secret information, and I don't want you to get endangered, so you cannot come with me." And basically Naruto's like, "Alright, what does it mean top secret?" He's just gonna tell us whatever. And basically he goes off on his own. And while this was happening, of course, after this, while this was happening, Sasuke actually went off on his own to find Itachi, and of course Kisame stops Team Taka. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Team Taka. And Sasuke goes off on his own, and just saying Sasuke is a lot stronger in this what if, and Itachi will have a much harder fight, and just saying Itachi will not actually win. He will actually draw with well, technically lose since he dies, but he will actually draw with Sasuke, because Sasuke actually had a bit more chakra, but of course in the end he dies. But Jiraiya, while that was happening, while Sasuke and Itachi was happening, yeah, Jiraiya actually went off on his own to find the Akatsuki leader, which is Pain, and started fighting him with perfect Sage mode. But still, he wasn't able to fully beat him. He's actually able to destroy four paths this time, but of course he doesn't know all the abilities of the other two, and the one that actually remained, well, yeah, the one that remained was the King of Hell path and the the Diva path. But of course, Naruto, who actually got alerted by his shadow, he actually shadow exchanged at the last moment before Jiraiya was actually about to get annihilated by these two, by the Diva path especially. Naruto actually came in the way with his perfect Sage mode, because Naruto doesn't know what he has to expect. That's why he actually took a bit longer to actually gather on Sage energy, well, nature energy. So yeah, Naruto, who's in Sage mode, actually appeared in this fight, and Jiraiya actually didn't notice about the shadow. The shadow, once he appeared, he actually stayed back because because he knew that he was just going to get in Jiraiya's way, and the shadow is actually pretty smart. Basically, he doesn't want Jiraiya to actually worry about Naruto coming here, because he knows about shadow exchange, so he actually hid. Anywho, the shadow actually, well, Naruto exchanged with the shadow, and Naruto came in the way of the Diva path and basically said, "Get out of my way." And basically, Naruto, what he did is that he used wind propulsion and propelled both of the paths away, and the Diva path was like, "Was that the almighty push?" And basically, well, he didn't actually say, "Was that the almighty push?" He actually said, "What? A similar technique to the almighty push. This one's going to be interesting." Naruto Uzumaki. And basically after this, basically Naruto says, "Well, escaping," and basically again he shadow exchanges, and this time, well, he doesn't actually shadow exchange this time. He actually uses the flying Raijin, and Jiraiya already was actually able to take one body before Naruto actually decided to use the flying Raijin, and it was the same body, the summoning path, not the summoning path, I mean the human path, but it is what it is. Anywho, well, was that the path that he took? Whatever. I'll say the human path, and it is what it is. Naruto actually told Jiraiya, why did he go on his own? He sure took him with him. He could have helped out. They could have even won if he just was with him. But then Jiraiya's there. I could not endanger you, especially if we lost. It would be all over. Our sacrifices, all the people who actually died to protect the Nine Tails from getting captured by the Akatsuki, they would all be dead. They would have all died in vain. You're the one who are trying to protect Naruto, not ourselves. Even if we die, protecting you, it's fine, as long as the world continues to go on. If they take all the tail beasts, the world is over. And Jiraiya only heard this from the Great Sage Toad, because the Great Sage Toad actually told Jiraiya when he actually came back to train with Naruto, because Jiraiya didn't really go to train with the Toads again after that time, and afterwards he died with Manpa witnessing everything, but it is what it is. And yeah, Naruto's alright then. And basically Jiraiya says, "You need more training, Naruto." And basically Naruto's like, "Don't worry, I actually mastered Sage mode." And basically Jiraiya's like, "What?" And basically Naruto's like, "I actually trained enough to actually keep myself in perfect Sage mode, and it's fine now." Basically Jiraiya's like, "Then we have to go and fight the well, the Pains." And basically Nagato actually already sent the Pains to the Leaf Village, and they were heading towards it. And of course, within 2 days, which Naruto and Jiraiya were about to head out, the Diva path and the rest of, well, all 5 paths, it should be 6, but one of them is in the village. All 6 paths actually arrive at the village, and they start the attack, and they realize that Pain actually arrived here much earlier than they thought he would. And yeah, the attack on the Leaf Village actually begins earlier. And while this was all happening, 2 days actually passed, and Sasuke awakened the monkey Sharingan, and he actually went off to capture the 8 Tails. Of course, the 8 Tails would have been captured, well, or captured in quotation marks, because in reality the 8 Tails was able to escape. Killer Bee is actually smarter than what you think he is. He has substituted himself. But his way is, Naruto had things to do than to worry about that. He needs to protect his village. Naruto, who sees the pains destroying the village actually heads towards one, since one of them is actually right next to his marker, and basically Rasengans the hell out of it. And this one was actually the human path who actually got well, revived. Well, you know, the King of Hell. And basically Naruto's like, who's next? And basically sees that the the Naraka path, the one that actually can use missiles, actually comes to Naruto, and Naruto says, so you're the one next one, right? And basically Naruto creates a Rasengan, and it's a bit darker, which means it's a vanishing Rasengan, and he's about to throw it, but then the Naraka path actually fired off a few missiles at Naruto, and basically it was at the same trajectory as Naruto's Rasengan, and they both collided. Even though the vanishing Rasengan was invisible, he collided still, and still he created a massive explosion, which Naruto used to his advantage to actually blitz the Naraka path. But he got since the Naraka path has shared vision, and just saying, the summonings were actually still summoned like in the original, and basically the bird actually saw what Naruto was doing, and basically the Naraka path was able to dodge Naruto, and Naruto's like, what the f. Anywho, after this, of course, Naruto kept fighting the Naraka path, realizing that something must be up, and then he remembers that Jiraiya actually told him that they all share visions. So then, the Naraka path, as soon as Naruto tried attacking again, the Naraka path kind of annihilated Naruto by shooting out, well, literally shotgunning him with missiles. But of course Naruto was able to protect himself with the shadows, and yeah, Naruto was actually realizes that his shadows can actually absorb the hit, and so he actually sent his shadow to surround the Naraka path, and Naruto, while the Naraka path was trying to look where the punches were coming from, Naruto actually comes in out of nowhere and kicks his head off. Yes, Naruto kicks his head off, because remember, the Naraka path is literally made out of metal, and now it's scrap. Anywho, of course, after this, Jiraiya and Kakashi actually arrive to Naruto's aid, and they're like to Naruto that he has to escape, and Naruto's like, no, I'm going to annihilate all of them that attack the village that he loves. And basically, as soon as he says this, they all get, well, a massive shockwave, actually, well, not shockwave, an almighty push comes towards them, and Naruto, who actually noticed this before the other two, is actually able to counter up this almighty push with this wind propulsion, and Naruto added a ton of chakra to it. But of course, even with that amount of chakra he added to it, it's still weaker than the almighty push, because the almighty push is the almighty push. Naruto's wind propulsion is just wind, and still Naruto was actually adding more chakra to it, and in the end he actually ended up in a draw, while the Diva Path wasn't even trying. It was just a normal weak almighty push. But Naruto didn't know this. He thought that this was one of the strongest attacks the Diva Path could do. But then he realizes that all 6 of the path actually arrive, and I mean all the other 4 paths of the of pain arrive, and Naruto actually throws a Shuriken, getting pissed off at them because they were killing people, and basically a lot of people died already because of this attack. Anywho, the only one that was actually caught in this was the summoning path, and all the summons got disappeared after the summoning path was actually destroyed. But the King of Hell path actually tried to heal them, tried to recover the pieces of her, but it was too late. She got annihilated. It was too gone. She was far gone, and the King of Hell path, Naruto actually blitzed it, and of course the Diva path actually saw this, and the King of Hell path, I don't even know his name, I don't care, he's irrelevant. He's actually able to dodge, and Kakashi, Jiraiya's like, Naruto, you idiot. And basically Kakashi actually tried to Kamui the absorbing path, but of course he actually did it, but in the end he was only able to get half of it, but it was more than enough for it to stop working. And then the Diva passed them. Interesting. So you shall be my first victim. And basically what the what the Diva Puff does is that he says almighty push, and universal pull, and pulls Kakashi towards him, and Kakashi doesn't know what's this, and basically Naruto tries to help Kakashi, but he's actually blocked by the King of Hell path, and the Kakashi got stabbed by a chakra rod, and then Almighty pushed away. I mean, not Almighty pushed. They still cool down. He actually got through away, and basically Kakashi seemed to be dead, but he wasn't. His chakra was getting slowly was getting drained, but Jiraiya actually, who was able to get into Sage mode right now, he actually attacked the Diva Path, but he was able to dodge because of the because of the King of Hell Path being able to look. But then Naruto tries to punch the King of Hell Path again, and the King of Hell Path dodges again, but Naruto uses the same ability that he used in the original to annihilate him, turn him into not turn him into a stone. He actually punched him with wind pressure, just like in the original, and then basically Naruto Rasengan him to death. Well, not to death, to oblivion, and now only the Diva Path was left, and there were two Sage Mode users, but Naruto and Jiraiya attacked both. The Diva Path, and the Diva Path was actually out of his cooldown, and he almighty pushed both of them away, and he actually blitzed Jiraiya, who was still recovering, and was able to stab him with 3 rods. Yes, he actually threw them at him, and Jiraiya was stuck on the ground because they actually stabbed through his bones into the ground, and he couldn't get up. This pissed off Naruto, which then Naruto went into a rampage, and well, not rampage like rampage, like rampage, not rampage, but rampage. Naruto kicked the Diva Path, who was still under cooldown, and the Diva Path actually went flying, but he recovered, and he was actually able to use his universal pull again, because the cooldown's over again, and Naruto gets pulled towards him, and he cannot do anything. He tries to stay on the ground, but it's too late. He cannot resist the amount of power the Diva Path is actually using to pull him towards him, and Naruto gets stabbed in the chest, and then gets thrown on the ground, and the Diva Path attaches the same amount of rods into him as in the original, but here Yumi actually appears, and Yumi, being a Nara and a Hyuga, has a much better chance against the Diva Path, but it's obvious that the Diva Path will annihilate Yumi, but not as bad as Hinata. Yumi is thousands of times better than Hinata right now, and she tries to actually use Shadow Possession Jutsu, but the Diva Path knows better, and he keeps dodging it, but then Yumi actually tries to blitz the Diva Path and block its chakra points, but the Diva Path actually not recovered, his cooldown was over again, and was actually able to almighty push her away, and at the same time throw a chakra rod into her shoulder near her neck, and it looked like she actually got stabbed in the neck, but from Naruto's point of view, and this pissed off Naruto to an extent that was his breaking point, and he went into his tail beast form, and this time he already started off at 5 tails, literally from the beginning, and Jiraiya was actually unconscious now because of the chakra being drained from him, and yeah, the Diva Path still goes up against tail beast Naruto, and Yamato still tries to return to the village, but it's too late, and the Diva Path still goes into the state where he has to use, Nagato actually uses the Diva Path's ability to create the planetary devastation, Chewbacca Tensei, and of course Naruto, who actually still hasn't met Minato and Kushina IRL, like literally how they really were. He only saw like the undead form. The chakra is still there, and their spirit is still there. Remember, they're undead, so their spirit is not in them. But of course, their chakra was remaining in Naruto, and Naruto tries to unleash the Nine Tails, but Minato stops him as usual, and basically Naruto's like, so that's how you look. That and basically, Minato read on his seal and said, "This is the only time we can see each other like this. So next time, don't do this." And basically, Naruto's like, "I'm sorry," but then basically, Naruto's like, "I cannot beat this guy, even though I injured him enough. I'm pretty sure I cannot beat him." And basically, Naruto doesn't know that the Nine Tails actually heals his wounds when he's actually taking control. But Minato says, "Don't worry, you got this, son," and basically tells him that if he really needs to, he can summon him. But of course, Naruto transformed back to himself and basically saw that his wounds are all healed, and he realizes that the Nine Tails chakra actually heals his wounds, and he's like, "It's fine then, I can beat him even without your help, father. And basically Naruto throws kunai and says kunai shadow clone, and basically the diva path actually who has the bigger cooldown, well, another cooldown to go through, actually was able to dodge all of them, but he's still in the middle of all of them. And Naruto uses this to his advantage and teleports behind him, kicks him in the head, and then the diva path goes flying. But at the same time, Naruto actually was able to throw a kunai which was going at the same speed, and Naruto teleports to it, but this was already 5 seconds, and the diva path was able to actually well, the diva path actually almighty pushed Naruto into the air, but then Naruto actually used the shadow clone jutsu to actually create more of himself, and basically he says this is over, and basically they all throw a vanishing Rasengan, which the diva path cannot dodge all of them, and he realizes what this is. He's seen it, and basically he was able to dodge most of them, but at least 2-3 of them hit him, and he was pretty much paralyzed. Remember, this is not a robotic body. He was actually Yahiko, as you guys, if you guys actually watched Naruto, Nagato actually made Pain, the diva path, out of Nagato's body. Anywho, of course, I mean, not Nagato's body, Yahiko's body, sorry. Anywho, Pain was pretty much paralyzed and couldn't really move much, but by the time Naruto actually arrived, teleported next to him, his cooldown wasn't over yet, and Naruto was able to take him out, and of course use the chakra rods to reverse track you know, a thing, what's it called, Nagato. And he thought that his masters were dead, and Yumi was dead, and so he went and he said, and of course the same speech happened as usual, but of course he doesn't want to kill Nagato, and Nagato actually decides to help him out and revive everyone in the Leaf Village. And basically Nagato says, Naruto Uzumaki, it is my fault. I did all of this, and before I pass away, I want to tell you that I believe in your dream. And basically, of course, he says that he believes in him, but in the end dies. And basically, Conan takes his body and blah blah blah. Conan actually didn't take Naga's Rinnegan because she was actually confident that her 6 billion, just saying 6 billion paper bombs, her sea of 6 billion paper bombs was more than enough to take out Toby, who actually will take Nagato's eyes. And remember, Toby's Obito, if you guys still don't know, but I'm pretty sure if you've been watching me since the beginning, you guys should know that. Anywho, now, of course, Conan goes on her own, and basically the Leaf Village starts getting rebuilt, but then, of course, everyone gets revived, and Naruto, when he returned, he gets greeted by all the villagers who love him now, because he's their savior. He went through all this pain because of them, but in the end he was still the one to save them, and he didn't care about them being rude, them being abusive, them being all that and this, and basically they're always hurting him, but in the end he's the one that was casted out of the village, basically, was the one to save the village. And they're all grateful to Naruto, and they treat Naruto as a hero, and basically Naruto was really happy. But of course Naruto still hears about the story about Sasuke, him actually killing Itachi. The news went all around the country, all around the world now. Itachi Uchiha was killed by his younger brother Sasuke Uchiha, and he's actually been searched by the Raikage because Sasuke Uchiha was actually spotted with Akatsuki attires, and he actually captured the 8 Tails. But of course it's a lie, and basically Sasuke is already headed to the 5 Kage Summit. And just saying, Tsunade actually is not in a coma, so just saying, Danzo actually insisted in coming to the 5 Kage Summit. So her 2 escorts are Danzo, who has 2 other people hiding in the shadows, which even Jiraiya couldn't sense, and Jiraiya and of course you know, Tsunade, and appointed Hokage, substitute 5th Hokage was actually Kakashi, and the guy was his assistant, of course. And yeah, she's in a state back as well, because she's injured quite a bit, quite injured, since she actually died, but she got revived, but she still has injuries. Anywho, you don't get fully healed. And Sasuke was heading towards the 5 Kage Summit, and this is and plus the Raikage wants to kill Sasuke. That's the only reason he actually made this Kage Summit, and Naruto actually decided to go, and the Kakashi actually decided to give the substitute fifth Kage spot to Guy, and Guy accepted, saying that the power of youth will help me. And basically, of course, Naruto leaves with Sai and Sakura. Yumi actually stays back. Sakura actually leaves with Sai and Kiba, you know, like in the original with those lot, while Naruto goes off with Kakashi and Yamato. And of course, Kakashi knows about Naruto actually already meeting the fourth, and basically now they go on their own. Anywho, Naruto actually still meets Toby, and Toby still tells him about Itachi and why he actually massacred the clan. And basically, Naruto, as soon as he heard that, he summoned Fugaku and basically said, "Wait, Sensei, is it true that Itachi Uchiha massacred the clan just to protect Sasuke?" And basically Fugaku said, "Yes, I didn't want to tell you because I didn't feel like you should have known, since it's meant to be a secret. I'm sorry, Naruto." And basically Naruto's like, it's not your fault, but if I knew, I could have told Sasuke, and maybe Sasuke wouldn't have turned out this way." And basically Fugaku does know about how Sasuke turned out and how he left, but it's his son's decisions, and he believes Itachi planned all of this. But of course, Itachi did not plan in Sasuke getting manipulated and taking his and taking the lesson that he's trying to teach Sasuke, that of course people always die because of these things, and he protected the village that he loved with his own life, and protected him with his own life. But of course Sasuke interpreted it wrong by thinking that the village made Itachi do this, and basically because of the village Itachi died, and he hated him because of he was manipulated as well into hating Itachi, when Itachi didn't do anything wrong. It was the village who made him do this, but in reality Itachi was the one to actually ask Toby for help, and because he knew Toby was dangerous and was going to do something to the village, he killed three birds with one stone. He literally saved saved the village from destruction from the Uchiha clan, saved them from Toby, saved his little brother. Yeah, all of this, and yes, and he kept tab on the Akatsuki. So technically it was four birds if you think about it properly. Anywho, of course Naruto still ends up going, and the Kage Summit begins, but of course it gets interrupted by, first of all, Danzo, being one of the guards of the Hokage, actually having two other people with him. And basically the guy with the Hyuga eye, I forgot his name, but he still notices that he has Shisui's eyes, and everyone gets pretty pissed at Danzo and starts questioning him. And even Tsunade and Jiraiya ask what's going on here, and basically Danzo says, "Oh well, guess I'll have to tell you the truth now." And basically then they get alerted that Killer Bee is still alive, and everyone's like, the Raikage is like, "What?" And basically then everyone gets warned that by Zetsu, that Sasuke Uchiha has infiltrated the Five Kage Summit. And just saying, Sasuke was actually a match against the Raikage in the original, but here he's actually stronger than the Raikage, even with his Monkey Sharingan, of course. So technically the Raikage going on his own is a bad mistake, because Suigetsu and Jugo are there, of course Karin too, and it's a bad mistake from the Raikage going with only two men. And of course Sasuke gets past them and goes to Danzo, and basically, you know, Onoki still uses his pulverization, you know, his particle style to particleize him, but of course he survives, and basically the Danzo fight begins. And this one, Danzo gets annihilated much faster, since Sasuke is much stronger here. He's literally on, not Naruto's level. Naruto's way stronger right now. Even in the original, there was no way Sasuke was going to draw against Naruto, or they were both going to die. Sasuke was going to die no matter what if he fought Naruto when Naruto was at full power. But of course, well, Naruto's leagues ahead of Naruto. It's not like little stairs, leagues, fam. Like, my guy has shadows, my guy has sage mode, my guy has all the Rasengan types. My guy, he can use up to 3 toes of the tail of the nine toes. My guy, he can freaking go into some next up KCM replica with shadows, which improves everything for him. And yeah, there's no way Sasuke can beat him. Sasuke would get annihilated. But of course, Naruto still arrives to see Sasuke, who is nearly blind. He's not blind yet. He can still use a bit of the Susanoo, and this makes it harder for Naruto to actually talk to Sasuke. But of course, Sakura comes in the way. I mean, Sakura actually came first, which Sasuke tried to kill with the Susanoo, but then Kakashi barely was able to save her. But then again, Sakura was about to die, even though Kakashi was fighting a Susanoo, a nerfed Susanoo Sasuke. So with the Mangekyo Sharingan, Kakashi was able to keep up a bit, dodging a lot and trying to destroy the ribcage. But then Sakura tried to get in again, but she was about to get killed until Naruto actually arrived with the shadow exchange and basically pushed back Sasuke with his shadow. I mean, not shadow repulsion, with his wind repulsion. And basically, this wind repulsion was so strong that he already cracked the Susanoo ribcage, and it was already there was a massive crack, to be honest, and it was breaking up. And Sasuke's like, just how strong did you grow, Naruto? And basically after this, Naruto's like, Sasuke, if we both fight now, we're going to die, as in the original, but so it's a lie. But then Sasuke's a sharp already and tries to actually Susanoo Amaterasu arrow Naruto. And what Naruto did is that he actually created a Rasen Shuriken, which actually collided with the Susanoo arrow and actually annihilated it. He literally broke it apart. And it was about to destroy the Susanoo ribcage, and Sasuke was about to get injured again. And but right before that, Obito actually came out of nowhere and saved Sasuke and said, "We shall be going now. Sasuke Uchiha has run out of chakra." Anywho, I just need to talk to the 5 Kage before going, and just saying, he goes back to the 5 Kage Summit and still declares war for the 8 tails and the 9 tails to all of the great nations. And that's where I'm going to end off. Next part is probably going to be the last part, and I hope you all enjoyed it. Please stay safe. This was the King of Weebs here, and this part will be for the 9th of September. I know yesterday I uploaded on the 7th, but it was for the 8th of September. I'm sorry guys, but it is what it is, and I hope you all enjoyed it. This was the King of Weebs here. Subscribe to Ratreet, Miniman123, and Kazama. And also follow Shokiro on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And join my link in description. Join my Discord server in the link description below. And my ducklings, you're dismissed. And have a nice day, have a nice night, have a nice afternoon. Hope you're all doing good in school. I'm actually quite enjoying it quite a bit. Just a few lessons that are kind of shit. Anywho, hope you all enjoyed it. Please stay safe. And my ducklings, you're dismissed again, and peace.